We are starting our Dublin city centre tour in Patrick Street. To our right you'll see St Patrick's Cathedral, which is the largest church in Ireland. And Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels, was the Dean of St Patrick's for many years. And this area is part of the Liberties area of Dublin. Moving into Nicholas Street, shortly see ahead in the distance Christ Church Cathedral, and this dates back to 1038 and boasts the largest crypt in either Britain or Ireland. And to the left there you'll see Dublinia, which is Dublin's Viking World and Medieval Heritage Centre. And turning right into Christ Church Place, Jury's Inn on the right hand side, and the civic offices are on the left, and on the left also is part of medieval Dublin, which is the Wood Quay area. And to the left behind our buildings here is the Temple Bar area. Well, this is the Temple Bar area of Dublin, but the pedestrianised Temple Bar area are behind these buildings to the left, where the nightlife really takes place. To the right there is Dublin Castle and City Hall. This is Lord Edward Street, and to our left shortly you'll see the famous Olympia Theatre. And moving into Dane Street, to the right is North Great George's Street. It'll bring us into the village quarter area, and we'll explore that later on. Moving down Dane Street, you see the Central Bank building to our left hand side, and again the Temple Bar area is behind all of that to the left, the main Temple Bar area. Straight ahead is Trinity College, and Trinity College covers some 47 acres of the city centre, and is well worth a visit. Moving left into Westmoreland Street, we're approaching O'Connell Bridge. And straight ahead you'll see Daniel O'Connell's statue, famous Irish politician and patriot. And indeed the statue has many bullet holes from the 1916 Easter Rising. There's the statue on the right. And O'Connell Street is Dublin's main city centre street, and central to which is the high-rise spire aluminium structure which you see just straight ahead of you. To the left on O'Connell Street is Henry Street, which is a pedestrian shopping area. And on the right hand side you see Cleary's department store with its famous overhead clock, and to our left is the General Post Office, or GPO, scene of the 1916 rebel Easter Rising. O'Connell Street has many interesting buildings, department stores, hotels, shops, restaurants. And further down on the right you'll see the Gresham Hotel. And there is the Gresham. And ahead facing O'Connell Street is the Ambassador Theatre and Parnell Square. That's the Ambassador's Theatre. And swinging onto Parnell Street, we'll turn right and do a quick tour around Parnell Square. And the building on the corner here to our right is Dublin's Rotunda Maternity Hospital. And central to this square is the Garden of Remembrance. And this is a large garden which honours the memory of all who gave their lives for Irish freedom. The Children of Lear's sculpture is an impressive focal point within the garden, and it's based on the ancient legend of King Lear's children who were changed into swans. And heading back towards O'Connell Street, on the right hand side you'll see the Gate Theatre, and on the corner the Ambassador Theatre once again. And this brings us back onto Parnell Street, but this time we'll continue straight ahead down Parnell Street. And just off to our left is the famous Moore Street with all the market stalls. Also to the left is the Ilac Shopping Centre, a large shopping centre. Further down on the right, you'll be able to see the Parnell Centre Multiplex Cinema. This is it just coming up on the right hand side. There we have it. And on the left is Jervis Street, which houses the Jervis Street shopping area. And swinging left here, we turn into Capel Street. And this street is an older established street in Dublin and has many shops dealing in furniture, hardware, sports, general household goods. tools, and the likes. And you'll get a pint of Guinness there too if you fancy. And left brings us onto Lower Ormond Quay, with the River Liffey on our right hand side. And you can take a stroll on the boardwalk all the way to the Docklands area, and there are small coffee boutiques and rest areas along the way. Further on the right, you'll be able to see the Halfpenny Bridge. This is one of Dublin's oldest landmarks, dating back to 1816, and it's a pedestrian bridge. Ahead in the distance is Dublin's tallest building, Liberty Hall. And this is home to the Union SIPTU. And Liberty Hall was a rebel stronghold during the 1916 Rising. But following the bomb blasts of 1972, all the non-reflective glass was replaced by reflective glass, and the viewing area was closed down to the public, as it was felt to probably pose a danger should it happen again. Again, O'Connell Bridge is to our right. Going straight ahead brings us on to Eden Quay in the direction of Dublin Docklands. And the main central bus station, Bus Áras, is a short distance to our left. Moving on to Custom House Quay, you see the Custom House building to our left hand side, and this is considered by many to be the most important building in Dublin, and it dates back to 1781, when it took 10 years to complete. However, its interiors were completely destroyed during the 1921-22 Civil War, and many important public records were lost. Just past the Custom House, the last buildings there to our left, is the IFSC, the Financial Services Centre. It employs over 14,000 people and housing many of the world's premier financial institutions. Further on is Dublin Dockland area, and you can see that under a separate video called Dublin City Docklands, should you so wish. So we continue on across the Liffey through Moss Street. And onto Shaw Street. And we'll swing right into Pierce Street. And continuing on straight, it leads us into College Street, which is around the College Green area, with Trinity College all the way along on our left-hand side. And to our right is Dane Street, the street we came down earlier. So we'll continue along left. And again, Trinity College is entirely on our left-hand side with its 47 acres. And at the top of this street to the right, you just see the entrance into Grafton Street, which is the premier shopping area, pedestrians area. There it is. And swinging around into Nassau Street, with Dawson Street to the right. Again, Trinity College all the way along the left. And many shops, again, eating houses, restaurants, bars, whatever you like, on the right hand side. Kilkenny Design is on our right. There it is. And turning up Kildare Street, there are many notable buildings to our left, such as the Heraldic Museum, the National Library, the National Museum, the Department of Commerce, and Leinster House, which is the House of the Parliament. And Leinster House is just here on our left. And straight ahead is Stephen's Green area. We'll turn left into Stephen's Green North. And move on to Merrion Row. And shortly on our right you'll see O'Donoghue's Pub, which was home to the famous Dubliners ballet group years ago. And you'll still have good old sessions to be heard in O'Donoghue's. This brings us into Bagot Street. Again, there are many musical areas in Bagot Street, as well as restaurants and shops, of course. brings us into the Fitzwilliam area. We'll turn left down Fitzwilliam Square East. And this was part of a long street which once had the longest row of Georgian houses in the world. However, in the 60s, the central section was demolished to make way for a modern office building. And that's still there today. I think you just saw it. Straight ahead in the distance, you'll be able to see Dublin's Holles Street Hospital. It's the largest maternity hospital. Indeed, it's the National Maternity Hospital. And turning left brings us on to Merrion Square North. Again, it has some magnificent Georgian buildings to the right hand side, and Merrion Park to the left. Left brings it on to Merrion Square West. Again, to our left is Merrion Park. You'll be able to see the statue of Oscar Wilde, great Irish poet. And on our right hand side is Oscar Wilde House, the National Gallery, the National History Museum, an alternative entrance to Leinster House, government buildings, and the office of An Taoiseach, which is the Prime Minister. Moving on to Ely Place, we'll swing right into Hume Street and go back to the Stephen's Green area once again. And this is Hume Street. And ahead you see St. Stephen's Green. It's a rectangular green and it covers some 27 acres with walkways, ponds, gardens, monuments, but don't overfeed the ducks, okay? And this is St. Stephen's Green East. To our right you'll see the Shelbourne Hotel. There it is. Just past that is Kildare Street, and we came up that earlier on. So we'll move ahead. And next on our right is Dawson Street, and that's home to the Mansion House. Straight ahead in the distance you'll see St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre with its domed glass roof. And to the right is the other entrance to Grafton Street. And turning down by St. Stephen's Green Centre, on our left you'll see Dublin's light rail called the Lewis. We'll turn up York Street, which brings us into the car park areas of the centre and also the Royal College of Surgeons car park and the Fitzwilliam Hotel car park. And this will bring us on to Mercer Street. So we'll turn left onto Mercer Street and head for the village quarter area of Dublin, which I referred to earlier on. So continuing up Mercer Street, we'll turn right into Dig Street. And this will take us on to Angier Street. And to our left we have the Camden area of Dublin. Brings you out to Rathmines and Ranelagh as well. We'll head down Angier Street, swinging right. And this is the village quarter area of Dublin. And were we to continue to the end of this particular area, it would lead us back onto Dame Street again and the Temple Bar area, which we passed earlier on. And this is now south of Great George's Street. And we'll shortly swing right onto Exchequer Street and take a look around that particular area. And this is Exchequer Street. And again, were we to continue straight on this street, it would lead us into the heart of Grafton Street. Well, that's a pedestrianised area. So instead we'll turn right here and we will go up South William Street. And to our left in South William Street is the Powerscourt Centre. You'll find antiques, arts, crafts, fashion shops, and a lot of little bric-a-brac stalls as well. Up ahead to the left is St. Stephen's Green Shopping Centre, the rear of which we actually came out of shortly ago. So we've done a bit of a loop. So we'll swing around here right and head on to Stephen Street. And we'll cross South Great George's Street that we came down just a moment ago and continue on to Golden Lane. This is Golden Lane. To our right hand side is the Radisson Hotel. And we'll continue on to Bull Alley on our left. Once again you can see St. Patrick's Cathedral. And we'll finish our tour where we started our tour, and that's on Patrick Street, except this time it's in the outbound direction. And leaving you once again with a glimpse of St. Patrick's Cathedral, the largest cathedral and church indeed in Ireland.